make sure that it's properly selected.
Oh, we hear you.
Yeah, but make sure that it's properly selected, not using a different microphone. Yeah, make sure it's using the correct microphone. Go to settings and then make sure that it's the correct one. Perfect. Okay. So after we fixed some technical issues here, now once again, welcome back to CTWC 2025 Regionals. Yesterday we had the in-person qualification rounds with a total of 3 slots where 15 players qualified, if I remember correctly. So yeah, those qualified in person. We also had a couple of people qualified online, which means a total of 21 players here. So in the event. So yeah.
You flew high.
Well, 21 actually, but Brohai sadly didn't make the cut. It was on stage number 21, so sadly we decided that level 0 will not happen. So no plushie here in the CTWC Paris 2025 regionals. But yeah, other than that, the qualifications were smooth. We have a total of 20 players here. And yeah, you can see the first rounds here. As you can see, first you have CTWC, as well as Dr. L.
Let's go. Non, je sais pas. J'espère qu'il va passer plus tard dans la journée, mais il sera
Second half over here, team number 1 on two. We have Pascal versus Philip, as well as Zor versus Zulu. So we have 8 players in the beginning, and then each round winner's bracket we do add another 4 players. So Richard Wolfie, Sibel, Joey, and Charles Frank the next card. And as you have a double elimination, you can see the blue part of the bracket, which means if you lose once, you go to the lower bracket. So for example, Speed Self and Vicky play against each other. We do have, for example, Speed Self losing, and then you would be in the round 3 or the lower bracket number 1. And he has a second chance in the tournament. That does of course mean that you need to lose twice. So comparison to the standard bracket where you could say it's about winning, here it's about how often you lose. And you need to lose twice to be out of the tournament is here until the finals. So in the finals you have the winners finals and losers finals. And the person with the losers finals doesn't go to the winner versus final. One, two more.
Yeah, no mic.
No, plug it in. Okay, we had some more slide tech issues. Now it should be better. Apparently my mic wasn't properly plugged in, which has caused some slight issues. So now you should be able to hear me a bit better. And yeah.
Alright, okay, we're gonna start.
So we can take a look at the players over here as a tease. We have Dr. L against Zabe, as well as Vicky versus Speed Self. So we have Dr. L here from Mexico. He didn't travel to the event to Paris just for the event. He's also working over here. And we have Zabe, who of course is living in France. Same with Speed Self. So we have 2 French people here in the first round on stream number 1. And we have Vicky Lotta from Germany. She's getting taught by Mark, you could say. So we have a lot of amazing gameplay here to expect. And it looks like all of the players are ready to go. So let's do the first countdown together. It's gonna be a 3, 2, 1, Tetris! And it looks like we have some NES Shams issues.
No, it's on my side.
Anyway,
We have some slight tech issues here. I mean, you know, it's a Tetris event. What would it be a Tetris event if there weren't any tech issues? At least we can see the players and maybe be at the center here, getting to this PC to reboot it. Don't feel disturbed by me. If you are, then feel free to top out and we will replay the game. If you didn't get disturbed, then perfect. Yeah, so this game doesn't count because we had some tech issues and had to get in between the players. They were obviously a bit caught off guard by that, as you know we expect. I have no idea why my PC just was like, no, I'm not going to respond anymore.
Can I do something to help? Or?
No.
Oh, you had to reboot?
Yes.
Okay.
The PC just wasn't responding at all, so...
Oh.
As I said, some slight tech issues, and sometimes having a slight disturbance is the best you can do, so we will hopefully only take a minute to set up Nessus jumps again. 1, 2, 2, so let's open the first one, restore. The second one, restore. Sivel, please make sure that all of the players are in the correct placements in Nessus gems.
We check.
But based on what I can see, it should work. Yeah, it looks good on my side. Mostly at least. So you are on C7 too? Yes. Just
I'm on
one
C7
more
A.
minute. I believe now you can see, well, 2 of them I'm playing, so that's fine if you don't see 2, but you should see 1, 2, 3. You need to go to the Nessus Gems admin room and add them there. Or I'm just going to do it myself. So
Okay.
3 and 4 back in. Can you 2 start not the match, just a normal game? I said not the match, just a normal game. Perfect, we get them exactly what we need. So feel free to top out and increment again. And then we are actually prepared to start the match, I believe. Okay, so let's hope that all will work now. And yeah, so that's okay, and it looks like all players are ready. So I think we can start the next game. We're waiting for a thumbs up here from Shuichi, our referee. And I have a thumbs up, so let's start the actual first game between all of these 4 players here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And yeah, this looks actually like a game now. So we can see Dr. L on the top left, Zerbe on the top right, Vicky Lotto on the bottom left, and Speedself on the bottom right here. Which means in total we have 4 players over here. As I said, 2 from France, 2 from not France.
Ah, nice, that was quick.
Warum? Okay, so it looks like we have a bit of connection stability issues here. So maybe we have these small pieces as we had with Dr. L and Vicky here for a second. We might get them again. I hope we won't. I just can't guarantee anything. So be prepared for potential slight stutters like that. And yeah, we also, of course, do have this chat here on YouTube and Twitch. And we for example, had Eliva saying good luck players, and Pubi was saying this must be CTWC France. Exactly, this is CTWC France or Paris 2025 regional.
Oh.
And I just feel like Nestor's Champs is having some weird issues here today. Like they topped out and it's weird. But based on what I can see, I saw nothing. Okay, and looks like it's working now again. I have no idea, it's, you know, standard tech issues here at a Tetris stream. It wouldn't be a Tetris stream if we didn't have tech issues. And here we can see now Dr. at 134 against Zabe at 55. We have the second game between Lotta and Vicky and Speedself here. And of course, we have our referee Shuichi. So, Shuichi, how did the first game between Vicky and Speedself end?
It was a very close game. Vicky topped out at 30k and Speedself at 31 or 32. So it was a very close game and both topped out at the same sequence, I think.
So it's 1-0 for Speedself.
Yes.
Okay, I got confirmation. It's currently 1-0 for Speedself. And yeah, Dr. L is in a big lead here. He has about 120k lead. Zabe and Dr. L played in the same quali slot. And there, Dr. L was one of the few players who did a level 18 start for basically all of the games. Here in the early rounds, you have the level choice between 15 and 18, which means if you want, you can start at level 15 or at level 18 to be exact. It's like you'd have to agree. But if you can't agree on level 15, I believe it's like there and you just play 18. Not fully sure, but something like that. Here, Dr. L started at 89s and 247. Again, quite nice game here. Speedself and Vicky also have a much better game here than their game number 1. And as you can see on Speedself's side here, it does have a blue heart. The heart colors are inspired by the French flag based on what I understood, which means, of course, colored blue, white, and red. And Speedself currently has about a Tetris lead here against Vicky, so it's neck and neck there. We have about a 6.5 Tetris lead here for Dr. L. Speedself has quite the dirty board, but so does Vicky. So Vicky is trying to get out of this quite high here. Set up for T-spin. Doesn't get the T-piece on time, gets the next bar, doesn't get the bar in. Overshifting 2 pieces, so Vicky tops out at 79, which means we now have a 2-0 for Speedself. Next up, between Vicky and Speedself, we do have the match point for Speedself. Where Dr. L also stopping out. I believe he lost Death on the green S-piece to the left, which has led to the top out at 259, which means the bay is now a chase down of about 5 Tetrises. Played perfectly, that's 20 lines, so into level 18 speed, but in theory possible before the transition into level 19. So let's see what Zabe can do here, but he's getting pretty high here. Doesn't get the next longbow over, which means we have 1-0 for Dr. L here. Vicky and Speedself have started their next games here. And Speedself going for a bit of push in the beginning, having bought a Tetris worth now in points after getting the Tetris. So does Vicky, but of course a 70-point lead here for Speedself. And Bergtroll, you're looking kinda confused. There's a mic here. So, Bergtroll, you look confused. What were you confused by?
Because I didn't see the mic, so I didn't know you were talking to the stream. So, hi to the stream, and let's commentate on this match.
Exactly so. We have these really tiny lavalier microphones. They are amazing because you can just hide them away and nobody sees them. And the sound quality is also pretty decent. Like, I compared this Rode Lavalier Go, I believe it is, to my HyperX podcast I Have No Idea microphone at home, and they have pretty similar sound quality, which is pretty nice in my opinion. You can see about the Tetris lead currently for Vicky. Speedstep is close to the well, getting the well open once again. Wants to get one more bar in. Is getting, yeah, kind of high, kind of dirty in the 26, 28, 30 piece route here. Doesn't get the next bar over, which means Vicky wins game number 3. And it is 2-1 or 1-2. Speedstep having won 2 games, Vicky having won 1 game. So maybe Vicky can win the next game. We can get the legendary 2-2. The one score that you want in all games of Tetris if possible. In the bottom game between Dr. L and Zabe, we currently have about a 1.5 Tetris lead to Zabe, having a 30k lead, 61 for Zabe against 30 for Dr. L. Vicky and Speedstep also just started their 4th game here. Which means, once again, match point for Speedstep. If Speedstep manages to win this game, he will win the whole match and will be in round 2, or I believe in the top 16 of the winners bracket. Because no matter who loses, this match won't be out as we're in the winners part. You know, first round, round 1, double elimination. You can lose 2 times. First match, of course, you're not out. And we can see about a 1.5 Tetris lead here to Vicky currently. It's 39 for Vicky against 8 for Speedstep. Speedstep getting a bit high once again, kind of similar to the last game, but this time he does get a bar in time, gets it over and got a Tetris out of it. So does Vicky. And yeah, we can see Vicky here, 30k, 1.5 Tetris lead against Speedstep. Speedstep open. Vicky bird the line, not ready for the Tetris on the left side. Took a safety triple instead, which is oftentimes worth it. Always stay in the game instead of topping out. In the top match, we had a 1.5 Tetris lead for Zabe earlier, and it's now to a 1.5 Tetris lead to Dr. L. Dr. L getting the next Tetris as well into 132, and we can see Zabe. Again, I have no idea. Here having a bit of a dirty game, needs to win a few lines. Dr. L is currently playing on the center too high, center as an academate. Also burns a few lines as he closed the well not too long ago on the left side. At a small hole in. Self set up for a center well, dirty Tetris for Speedstep. Speedstep into 92 versus 95 for Vicky. Vicky having played 4 lines less. Could try, no, she doesn't try to set up for left well Tetris. If she put the long to the right, then she would have been left side Tetris ready here. So, in the bottom game, we have a close game between the 2 players. In the upper game, we have Zabe just topping out at 90k, which means we have a 2-0 here for Dr. L. Is this all that I need to do? Let's see. I haven't used this thingy before. Okay, it doesn't do the heart. I have no idea about how I do the hearts then. I just know how I do it in the sheet thingy. But at least I have that now. And here in the chat we also had Tetris asking bracket anywhere. I wouldn't know where it is other than on my on this PC, and I don't know where I'm logged in, so I can't provide you the link sadly. But we will take a look at the bracket, of course, after the first round. And in between matches as well to know what is coming up next. About the first round, of course, we also do have a stream on Classic Tetris 2 that is done by Richard. Richard Wolfie, you know him, you most likely love him. Yeah. So Speedstep, once again, in a bit of early trouble. Well, not early, like mid trouble, as we're now at 65 lines. And next Tetris is going to Vicky into 202 against 136 here for Speedstep. Dr. L wants, for example, a G piece of the spin, doesn't get the spin, gets a 2G spin instead. Which means L is a bit high in the digging situation, while the B is a few lines away from being able to Tetris. That he would either now build up or clean up, well, build up with only one line, and he doesn't go for the green long L piece adjustment for the Tetris, which means instead he is burning a bit. Vicky currently in a 4.5 Tetris lead, so massive lead here for Vicky over the last few lines that she was able to build up, while Speedself here is just in a situation where it needs to burn quite a lot of lines, but so is Vicky, so this is now a situation of who can survive longer. Will it be Vicky or will it be Speedself? Okay, Mark said Vicky. Mark, of course, is totally not biased towards anyone here, as we know. Early shift here, or not quite shift correctly here for Vicky of that green S piece, but got some burns in, which means still in this. Speedself has been able to burn a bit quicker here, as you can see the amount of lines played, has played 6 lines more, so if we take that into consideration, in terms of pace, it's currently a 5.5 Tetris pace even pace here for Vicky. But level 18 is coming up soon. It's now happened, well, level 18 speeds. It's now happened on Speedself's side, so let's see how Speedself will be able to play here. On Vicky Lotter's side, there are still 6 lines left until the transition. 3 more lines left. Speedself quite high here in the center. Wants something for his column 8. He built in the column 8, which means he's stopping out at 167. So between Vicky and Speedself, it is now 2-2-2. And we have our beloved decider between Vicky and Speedself. As for L and Sabe, we have the 2-0 currently for Dr. L. And on game number 3, Dr. L has had a small lead here. It's pretty neck and neck between these two players currently, as you have the next drought here. The drought currently is at 18, 19, 20 pieces, and here's the next bar. So Tetris to Dr. L. So we also will be in the drought not too much time. So he knows the drought won't be too long, only like 20 pieces, which is pretty manageable. As for Vicky and Speedself, there's the first Tetris going to Speedself. Vicky's started in a bit of a burning situation here. At the top we have about a Tetris lead currently for Dr. L at 65 lines, while Zobe has played 61 lines, which means Tetris lead. Tetris difference in lines, it is neck and neck between Dr. L in terms of pace. In terms of points, we have a slight lead here currently for Dr. L, as well as a slight lead for Speedself at the bottom match of a bit under Tetris here. 23 for Vicky against 39 for Speedself. And up to 1.5, down to a half. That was lead here to Speedself. So just close between these two players. In the upper match, it's still a 1.5 Tetris lead here for Dr. L, getting close to level 18 now. At 87 lines for Dr. L and 80 lines for Zobe. So once again, in terms of pace, it's neck and neck between Dr. L and Zobe. I need someone who speaks French. Maybe I can find someone in this French country called France. But, you know, just a slight guess. Dr. L hitting a bit high, getting the burn into Tetris. So 220 for Dr. L against 154 for Zabe. Dr. L in a nice position in terms of points, whereas Zabe is in a bit of a, still down-sticking situation here, but should be able to get a clean transition into level 16. Next Tetris going to Vicky. Vicky is currently about a Tetris and some change behind Speedself in terms of pace, and 2 Tetris and some change in terms of points. We can see Zabe not getting the cleanest transition here, but should be pretty doable. He only needs something for the left side. But he doesn't get a good piece for the left side, and this is now getting close to top out height. Yeah, the long but not what he needed, especially not to the right, which means Zabe tops out at 163, and Dr. L does sweep here against Zabe. So congratulations to Dr. L for sweeping in this match, and to Zabe, of course, you have a chance in the lower bracket to redeem yourself. You have at least one more match left to go here. So we can now maybe switch over to just Vicky versus Speed Self. Let's see if that will happen. As you have the decider between Vicky and Speed Self. Next set is going to Speed Self here. And perfect, we now have Speed Self versus Vicky here. So we can see them both in big on this stream here. Over there on stream number 2, by the way, we currently also have Cousin versus Zulu, which looks like quite a close match to me as well. And next set is going to Vicky. 206 for Vicky, 255 for Speed Self. At the same lines, you have a 2.5 Tetris lead currently for Speed Self. Because Vicky originally was a guideline Tetris player, so I believe until October last year. Only then she started to get into classic Tetris, and for that, of course, she's performing amazingly well here today. Speed Self is from the Trackmania community, and for that, he's also performing amazingly well. Like, you know, these players who are not, you could say, Tetris crackheads who play Tetris for 5 hours, 10 hours a day, and are still showing up and showing us here what they can do. And that's what I love about these smaller local events. You know, the big CTWC days and CTWC where you have the highest, only the highest level of players. We also here to have some more average players, you could say. And yeah, in terms of plays and points, Speed Self able to get a nice lead in here, up to 4.5 Tetrises basically here against Vicky. Vicky is now open once again. Is about a Tetris behind in terms of lines played. Next Tetris here to Vicky. Speed Self getting a clean transition into level 18 speed. And Vicky still has a chance to catch up on level 18, but the board is not looking too amazing now. She got a weird long bar. And is now in a bit of cleanup here in the beginning of level 16. The level 18 speed also doesn't go on for too long. It's only up until level 18, 30 lines, and Vicky already troubles here on the left side. Needs to find a way to build this up cleanly and then burn. Oh, that Reyes LP wasn't what she needed, topping out at 280, which means Speed Self wins the decider. It looks like stream number 2 is also finishing up their session soon. As you have like 216 against 194, Cousin in the lead, Cousin also in a 2-0 situation, which means if Cousin wins this, he has won the match, and they have finished their set of matches, their round 1 as well. Again, nicely played here by the two players. And we have been telling in the chat saying, what's up chat, it's 4:47 AM and I can't sleep. And that means that this is the perfect time to tune in and watch some amazing Tetris here between partly French players. We have the CTWC Paris, the regional event here in Paris, where you try to find the best player in this region. And here we have 3 saying GG's. And we have the bracket over here. Perfect. So we can see the first few games were Speed Self versus Vicky. 3-2 for Speed Self. You had a 3-0 for Dr. L, a 3-0 for Pascal, and a 3-1 for cousin. So far, no upsets. And next up, we are gonna have Richard versus Speed Self, Sivell versus Dr. L, Tony versus Pascal, as well as Tolstoy versus Cousin. And in the losers bracket, we currently have Vicky, Zebe, Millen, and Zulu. Whoever loses in this round will be in round 3, so the losers bracket round number 1. And we are asking, are the higher seeds just not on this part of the bracket? Yes, exactly. As we have a flat bracket, that's, I believe it's called 8 wide, we get the higher seeds in by 4. So in the first part of the bracket, we have 8 players. Then we have the next 4, so 12, the next 4, 16, and then the last for the top 4 seeds, 4 to 20. So they would be in round 6, it should be, or upper round 4. They will be added a bit later. That's kind of the good aspect of a flat bracket. We have we try to have close matches for all the tournament. And of course, we have double elimination. All players also get at least 2 matches. So next up on stage number 1, I guess we have Richard versus Pizza, Sivell versus Dr. L, and on stream number 2 we have Tony versus Pascal, as well as Tolstoy versus Cousin. And here, as Runtara asked about the second half of the bracket, you can see it now on stream. So on Sunday, Denvi, now Mark and Bergtroll join for the top 8, basically. It's not quite top 8 because of how the flat bracket works, but that's how it is done over here. So that clarifies this. And Fury also saying that we will have Tony versus Pascal, the battle of the Swiss armies. Yes, for the upcoming matches, of course, again, let's take a quick look at them. We have Tony versus Tolstoy on stream number 2. So for stream number 1, we have Richard, Speed Self, Sivell, and Dr. L. Just so that they know that they're playing next. I mean, they can also see it, but you know, hearing it does sometimes help. And on stream number 2, we have, so, somewhere over here, don't ask me where exactly, amazing shirt. We have Tony, Tolstoy, Pascal, and Cousin. Just don't ask me where exactly. I believe it's gonna be Tony, Tolstoy, Pascal, and Cousin, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, Tolstoy here. Tony and Pascal. That's at least my understanding. What? That should be. Okay, so we are getting the players ready, which means we have a short break before the next round where we add. Yeah, we have the matches that you see currently on stream. So see you in just a few minutes. And to answer the question of Rodri, Dr. L is from Mexico, but he's currently living in Paris for work. So he is Mexican, but living here.
There's no music?
Alors, est-ce que tu as encore imprimé le truc chez Mir?
So as all players are here currently, we can transition over to them and hopefully have some nice matches here. Once again, as we already teased in the beginning, well, beginning is in a bit before, we have Speed Self in the top left against Richard in the top right, Dr. L in the bottom left against Sivell in the bottom right. So all in all, we will have 4 players, 2 matches, and 2 French people here. Let's see if Dr. L can perform. Dr. L or Speed Self can perform the first upset of today's stream, meaning win against the higher seeded player. The seeding here does work by the average of 2, which means if you you basically count your 2 highest scored games and take the average of them. It's pretty self-explanatory if you ask me. And Yuntara is saying, are the Tetris not supposed to be coming through? As far as I know, they are not, but on the other side, I also have kind of no idea about what they are doing here in terms of the scenes. You know, I haven't done the scenes pretty much at all. So don't ask what's supposed to be and what's not supposed to be. It's up for Sivell to decide that, and he set it up like this. So my guess is that they are supposed to come through, but again, I don't know. I just hope that they're not on full power when they come through. That would be pretty important. Okay, so also I can see Bergtroll doing some other things, so thanks to Bergtroll for that. It looks like all players here are ready. Let's see how it's on stream number 2. So, stream number 2, are the players ready?
Bracket weitergeht? Nach unten kommst. Wer als nächstes gegen Vicky spielt?
Okay, and
Are you ready to play?
I mean, on stream 1 we are ready. Gunther, how's
That's
Lol. Gunther, how is stream 2 looking? Are you ready to go, or? I mean, that's acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, but why is
Why?
he doing that?
I have no idea why it is.
Alright, means we are.
Okay, so stream 2 is ready, stream 1 is ready. Then let's start the countdown for stream. Hold on.
Because he's not ready to play.
Oh, I asked if you were ready. I was like, okay, you are. But now, no, in stream 2 they were still playing. We are always trying to do a simul countdown here, of course, for all of the players. Oh, Richard also is not on his chair. He is probably doing some important stuff with that. I don't know for sure. So you're now ready? Now everyone is ready. So to start the second round here of the upper bracket in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So we have now started the second round, and we have someone in the chat saying, "Go players in Paris, good luck and fun." Very cool to see Richard Wolf there. Yes, Richard went over here to the Paris regional, partly for Tetris and partly to enjoy, I believe it was the Eurovisions in Swiss in like 2 weeks, I believe. So nice for Richard because he's able to combine two amazing events, of course. CTWC Paris and the Eurovision. For the Americans who don't know what Eurovision is basically a song contest for all European countries and some few exceptions, for example, like Australia as well. And we might have some issues with the stream. I heard that it broke somewhere. Not sure if it's Twitch or YouTube. I know that we had some issues on YouTube yesterday, but it looks like YouTube is... Okay, I just got confirmation that it's fine, so I don't know what happened. But better to always double check stuff. Yeah, but we can also see here, let's go to the game. We can see 2.5 Tetris lead to Richard and 2.5 Tetris lead here to Stevel. So far the players of the upper bracket are performing well. Dr. L is having pretty big issues here in the stack. He could stack it out of this, but the right side here looking too tough. Got a mistrop in, which means that we have a 1-0 for Stevel. 1-0 for Stevel. As for Speedself versus Richard, you can see the next Tetris to Richard. Richard once again in a 1.5 Tetris lead here against Speedself, and Speedself is able of staying pretty close to the higher seeded player. So let me try if I can cam player B1. Yeah, I would say this is a bit better now in terms of the B setups, so we can start the next game between L and Stevel, and 3, 2, 1, Tetris. They just started, and Richard getting the next Tetris up to 2 Tetris and some change in lead. And we have Tomato Soulman saying, "Go Richard Wolf." So we have someone cheering here for Richard specifically. Meaning that Richard will have to win this match in order to show how amazing of a player he is. Of course, Richard traveled here from Colombia, which is, as far as I know, the furthest travel distance that anyone has done this year for CTWC Paris. We have a nice tuck here for Speed Self. So we got a couple of Tetrises in. We can also see Sivell needing to clean up his stack. Dr. L was able to get in an early lead here. Dr. L getting the next Tetris, having longboard dependency here in column number 3. And Sivell is ready on the center side in column number 3. Just waiting for the next bar. And same position basically here for his opponent Dr. L. And the bar isn't coming. We have now the route counter ticking. Only 16 pieces, so it felt like an eternity, but it was actually quite quick here. And Richard, as we can see, just able to stay ahead basically the whole game here. But it's not that fast, so let's see how 18 will go. As they're gonna transition to 18 in about 20 lines in the top match. The lower match, we are still in the first third of this game. And next Tetris here to L. L is in the lead. Sivell won the first game, but the second game hasn't been going too well here for him. Getting, a lot of digging in, which is why he has about 3 Tetrises behind Dr. L here. Richard being quite high, he doesn't get the next O piece over, so Richard tops out at 307. Speedself has a chase down to 308, but he's gonna transition into level 18 speed quite soon, and he's not in the cleanest spot situation. He needs to get, he wants to get clean. This is still playable for level 18, but 18 is only 30 lines, and at 130 you transition into level 19 speed, the fastest that you can play as a desk player. The height for Speed Self is pretty acceptable to get out of, and we also have the 1-1 here between Dr. L and Sivell, so 1-1 in the match above. We can see that Speed Self is now clean. Speed Self has a Tetris and some change left to go, so this is possible for him to catch up on level 16 and 17. Let's see if he does get the bar. The bar isn't coming down. Okay, he's taking the safety triple, perfect. He's now in level 17, one of the toughest levels to play. And 15 lines of 18 to go here. Bit under Tetris. You can get that with... No, you can't get this if you line it out with triples, so... Speed Self wants to find a way to get a Tetris in the next 10 lines. Otherwise, he will have to play 19, and his 19 at least best from yesterday hasn't been the best here. Okay, he's about half letters away. He's in a quite high position here. 4 lines left to go. 1 left to go until level 19. And it looks like this will be it. Yeah, this is it for Speed Self, which means we have a 1-0 for Richard. 1-0 for Richard. Was able to play more efficient in the opening, and that was barely enough for him to stay ahead while Speed Self was chasing down. So in the lower match it is 1-1. In the upper match it is 1-0 for Richard, and Richard just had to leave for a second here to explain some tech things to Gunther, who's currently on stream number 2. And doing the second stream, where we of course have a lot of players as well for matches. I know that was perfect casting. And over there we have, on stream 2, we have 3 Swiss players, being Tony against Pascal and Tolstoy versus Cousin. So Speed Self versus Richard have just started the next game. In game number 3 we have a nice 2.5 lead to Sivell, as well as Dr. L having some issues that he needs to clean out of. Let's see if I will be able to clean out of this and how long it will take getting the nice J piece into L. Ooh, 3 pieces here in quite a short time. And yeah, Fury also set to speed self. Well done, that was pleasure for the chase zone. You did well. You did well to get to 19. Nice. Yeah, exactly. It sadly wasn't enough, but speed self definitely showed Richard that speed self is an opponent to look out for. Speed self does have the potential to win a few games and maybe the whole match here. Especially as Richard is currently high and is behind in points in the opening. About a 2 Tetris lead now to speed self. Well, Richard is high, he's getting the double in. Next single, nearly open once again. About 4 more lines left to go here for Richard. Getting the next bar, perfect. Is able to clean up the left side. Slowly but surely is open into bar and Tetris for Richard. In the meantime, Dr. L has some burns to do on his own side. Is able to go for a triple here. Sivel is currently 76k ahead, so 4 Tetris lead here for Sivel. While Dr. L is also cleaning up, not able to go for Tetrises, but he could try to go for a dirty one now. It would be 3 high. He is set up waiting for the next bar. Let's see if the bar does fall on time here for Dr. L. And Sivel is quite high here. Sivel needs to clean this stack up pretty much as soon as possible. As he is. Yeah, okay, he's getting low, perfect. As he was, in my opinion, a height where a top out having one small issue was kinda likely, but he was able to get out of that, is now in a much more playable height once again. And next set is to Richard. If he does death, that also would have been deadly, but Richard is a master of death. That also has the CTWC shirt. Richard is doing a lot of CTWC. So shoutouts to Richard for doing a lot of stuff. Here helping out in Paris and on, again, the CTWC and other events. We have a 50k, so 2 Tetris and some change lead for speed self. Now down to 1.5 Tetris lead here for speed self. In the lower match, we still have a 4 Tetris lead here to Sivel. As both players have been cleaning up for a long time here. Currently, speed self is open, getting the next Tetris, which builds up his lead even bigger. While Richard, as we can see, is still cleaning up. So based on what we see so far in the first 2/3 of level 18 between speed self and Richard, it looks like maybe in this game Richard will have to do the chase down against speed self. Next Tetris to Richard, and it was nearly a silent Tetris, just a few milliseconds or too much of time difference between speed self and Richard's Tetris. And here's the next Tetris to Richard. Lead is down to 1.5. Next Tetris to speed self. Sivel doesn't get the blue SP to what it needs to be. Overshifted, topping out at 164, which means Dr. L is chasing down here in game number 3. Is 2.5 Tetrises behind Sivel on level 18. We saw Dr. L perform pretty well on level 19 yesterday, so if he can get a Tetris in, this is totally possible for him to then line out. Because now the pressure is on Sivel's shoulders as well, because all Sivel can do is watch, and that does get into mental. Yeah, next set is here to Dr. L. Richard being quite high here, having 2 bar dependencies. Speed self also needing to burn. Less than a Tetris left to go here for Dr. L. Dr. L could just stand out, but gets the Tetris into 2-1 for Dr. L.
It was clean, but I used that.
So next up is gonna be match point for Dr. L. And we have the transition into level 16 in just a few seconds in the top match. It's currently 1 hour in terms of scoring, like game wins. In terms of points in this game, it is a 1.5 Tetris lead to speed self. As we're now on level 16 for both players. looks like we will start game number 4 between Dr. L and Sivell in a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Both have started, and in the top match, Richard gets the next Tetris and closing the lead to just a bit over Tetris, but Speedself got the next Tetris immediately as we are in level 17. Actually, Richard has also played 9 lines more, so this is more like a 4 Tetris lead in pace. A 4 Tetris pace lead currently for Speedself. So Richard will have to do a bit of 19 here. Next to this to Richard. Speedself also in quite a lot of trouble here board-wise. He might top out in just a few lines or pieces. Yeah, okay, he's getting the single. Incorrect S-piece. Correct S-piece, but doesn't get it over. Speedself topping out here at just under Tetris lead. Richard also getting a few drops, but gets the next bar, which means Richard is able to secure his 2-0 next up match point for Richard. Yeah, we have Runeterra say go Richard, we have Mix saying go Sivell. And also 2-0 for Richard. Which means we can start the next game between Speedself and Richard. Yep, they just started. Small long dependency that is immediately filled in on Dr. L's side. Dr. L in the openings about the Tetris behind Sivell. Next Tetris to Sivell. Next Tetris to Dr. L. Dr. L has played a few lines less, so in terms of pace, they're actually neck and neck. And we had like 3 Tetrises in what felt like half a second. And one more now for Dr. L. Nice adjustment here on Sivell's side. Only going for triple now though. Not perfect bar timing. One piece that would have been better as it is the case so often. And one more Tetris to Sivell here. And one more to L, so their opening first half has been going quite well here. As for Speedself versus Richard, we just have the next Tetris going to Richard. And maybe we have the gameplay back here for Sivell. Let's take a look. No. Good. And it looks like Sivell is now back on stream in the gameplay as well. Perfect. And oh, now I see what. Now I see what Richard meant. Maybe OBS somewhere, somewhat. This? Huh? I don't understand. Why is OBS not showing this? This? Not quite what I wanted? I don't understand. So, project, full screen. This? Ah, now it's back on our projector as well. And yes, so Dr. L and Sivell close. Tiny lead here for Sivell, close to the level 16 transition. And Richard is coming back now. We get a few Tetris in currently and looks it looks like oh. Okay, so it looks like we are ready for Speed Self versus Richard, and we are in a 2-2 position between L and Stivell. So it's 2-2 between L and Stivell. Next up is gonna be their decider, and we have the match point for Richard coming up once again on match number 1, match number A, however you want to call it. Okay, so players, are you ready to go for a simul countdown? Okay, looks like Stivell isn't. Oh, he still needs to set up the new seat. Perfect. So looks like all players are now ready. So let's start both games in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Oh, stream 2 has already finished the matches.
Yes.
We are behind, we are slow.
Yes. I am, yes.
Here on stream 1 we have both matches just starting off, both games of course. And you have a slight lead here for Dr. L and the decider getting the first Tetris. And we have Maruto saying, "Go Stivell! Je fais que passer, yeah, Evo Japan of first share Mui." That was perfect French, all understood what I said. And we also have Slim Throne saying, "Go Speed Self." The Tetris is happening here 58 to Speed Self, 61 to Stivell. Yeah, so it's second act between Dr. and Stivell. Speed Self has an early 4.5 Tetris lead. So maybe we can get in one more game between Speed Self and Richard here. Richard is a bit high, needs to burn this down. Has the Tetris long dependency on the left side. Close the well, is open once again. Close the well for some burns immediately. Got a triple in total in. So Richard is trying to survive this while being down about 100k, and Speed Self topping out at 118. So Richard, your goal is 119, 119 is your goal. So a bit under 100k or a bit under 5 Tetrises to go here for Richard. As we are not even at 40 lines, this should be a pretty doable chase down for Richard. As for Dr. L against Stivell, we have about a Tetris lead here currently, for Stivell having about a Tetris in lines as well more. So there's neck and neck between those two players. Yeah, as I said, for Richard, just a chase down that he can play pretty safe. Oh, and Dr. L topping out at 96. He was playing a bit too risky, and that has led to him topping out, Sivell getting the next Tetris, which means we have a 3-2 for Sivell. So GG's for those players, and Dr. L is now gonna be in the losers bracket. It's for Richard. Let's go over to just watching. Richard play here in a second.
Oh, too risky. Okay, we make a save. So
Yeah, no, like almost like
Okay, I don't understand why I have this. I don't understand. That's cam. Is the setup? Oh, it's entity setup. I don't understand, which means we can go. We can't. I don't understand this. Sometimes Nestor Champs is being a bit weird.
come on.
And Richard is just slowly but surely playing it to the end. And we can now take a look at Speedself versus Richard. Oh heck! You haven't won. What is Richard doing? Also, the point difference that he needs to catch up to is lost. He needs 1-1-18, 8-7-8. No, Richard, we never said it's over. Please wait until Bergtroll does confirm that you have won. There was a bit of a trolling going on apparently on Richard's side on accident. Or maybe we accidentally trolled Richard. I have no idea what happened. But Richard, please continue playing. Yeah, there's also someone in the chat saying XD, oh no. 100% correct.
Okay.
It looks like we're also fixing the hearts now. You know, it wouldn't be a true Tetris team if there weren't any technical difficulties. And you can see Richard playing pretty clean here. He has at least up until level 19 to go, and on level 19 does depend on his skills today. And on if he's actually able to concentrate properly, or if he's gonna get trolled again. So yeah, he has about 15k left to go. He needs 119, has 6 lines left to go here on level 18. So he could try to build up for one final Tetris.
That's even raised at like 1%.
117, and this Tetris does it. And now, okay, you know, I would say Richard, you need 142, but no, Richard has not actually won. So GG's here to Richard, and probably not because that Tetris, but maybe it is. Did you get more than one Tetris? Okay, so this is it for the second round here. We are now updating all of the sheets here back, and you could say, so that all does look good. We can now take a look at the updated bracket. As you can see, okay, perfect. So as you can see over here on stream 1, we had the Richard versus Speedself, where Richard won, as well as Sivell versus Dr. L, where Sivell won. And on stream number 2 we get Tony, sweep Pascal, as said Tolstoy, sweep Cousin, which means next we are gonna have lower round 1, which will be Vicky versus Cousin, as well as Zabé versus Pascal. We have seen Vicky and Zabé play over here on stream number 1 today before. Cousin and Pascal are gonna be new. And on stream number 2 we will have Merlin versus Dr. L, as well as Zudu versus Beatzel. So let's see how the players in round 3, also known as lower round 1, are gonna perform. Of course, you have a short break here for the players. Do get ready. So see you again in just a few minutes. if you can hear me once again, we are now back at 12:45 CEST Central European Summertime or 10:45 UTC. I hope that all of you were able to enjoy the 50 minutes here, get to the toilet, drink a bit, maybe get a small snack, you know, all of the important stuff that you need to do. And we are now in round number 3, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4 players already here on stream number 1. I see 1, 2, 3 and 4 players on stream number 2 as well. So I guess we can start the next round in most likely a few seconds. Not fully sure how long it will take for the players to get ready, for example. As I saw that, for example, Zulu and Pascal just sat down, so they're of course gonna warm up at least a bit. But yeah, so. Oh, actually, talking about Pascal before warming up, he first does need to get the controller wire in a good position.
Ja, meine Gruppe geht zurück im Park und ich alleine zurück am Ring. Nee, das mache ich.
Okay, we can see Vicky getting a nice massage from Mark, so this is gonna put it at 110% power. Super Saiyajin level 3. Can we see some golden hair? Okay, maybe not. But 2 power is now unlocked, so maybe Vicky can win against Cousin. And Speed Self is doing Speed Self things, as in he does need some power for his phone. Some charge. Yeah, you can also sing hello, I'm the guy in the blue thingy here. This, you know, hello. You have seen me before on stream a bit. You will maybe see me again today. We will see Time Voice, for example. people cheering him on. So, yeah, Pascal showing us, yeah, thank you guys, we love you. Also, Mark here in person also saying, yeah, go, Pascal, go, go. This is exactly the kind of atmosphere that we want. So, is there any French person here who could cheer for the Babe as well, so that it's not just one-sided? Oh, I don't see any French person who isn't playing Tetris or doing other important stuff, so I guess the Babe doesn't have anyone cheering for him. Oh dear. So Pascal in a 4 Tetris lead, so amazing opening here for Pascal. Of course, Pascal does play a lot of Gameboy, for example, so he is well used to Tetris. He's been playing Gameboy for a long time. Whereas the Babe is one of the Trackmania players in the chat, well in the room. So he is used to playing in tough positions, but probably not that used to playing in person Tetris tournaments. Vicky has played before, yeah, so I believe that's Koza. Point was you have a 1.5 Tetris lead currently to Koza. 119 against 87. Koza just got the next Tetris in. Vicky is close to being cleaned up once again. Pascal has some slight issues here in the stack, is quite high, still like 5 Tetrises ahead, so pace-wise quite good here for Pascal. Yeah, so 95k, bit of cleanup that he needs to do. But the Babe also needs to burn a few lines before he is able to go for Tetrises. And thanks to the raid for Egu, and we have Drole Dummy also saying, go handsome Swiss man. And Sivay saying, go French team. So there's at least one French guy cheering for all of the French people here. So shout out to Sivay for being a team player for the French team. Actually, it's a team because they're on the same side. Vicky being a bit high here, once perfect LP from the left side, which means he should be able to get out of this quite easily now. But we have a drought of the long bar here for column 3. Long bar came one piece today, so a bit of cleanup here. And yeah, Pascal is close to being able to go for standard Tetrises again. And it was only like a Tetris that the Babe was able to catch up, so still like a 4 Tetris lead here to Pascal. Vicky is high once again. Well, her stack is high, which means she needs to burn out of this. It's gonna be a bit tougher. Especially as we are only about 20 lines away from the level 16 transition. So the transition to level 18 speed, at which the game does become much faster. Still manageable, of course, for the S players. But yeah, no, Vicky doesn't get there. She tops out at 128, which means game number 1 does go to Cousin. It is now 1-0 for Cousin. In the modern match between the Babe and Pascal, both players are in a clean position here. We have 141 against 218. So it's big lead still for Pascal, up to 95k again, so 4.5 Tetris lead. Next Tetris to the Babe. And we are just a few lines, 4 lines away from the transition here. We have also started the second game between Cousin and Vicky. Okay, so the Babe was able to catch up a tiny bit, transition at 182. 3.5 Tetris lead to Pascal, so about a Tetris that the Babe got closer to Pascal. As we have the next Tetris going on. Yeah, so 16, well 18 speed shouldn't be an issue for the Babe and Pascal here. Level 19, there's a high chance that level 19 is where they will top out. Yeah. And bottom match we can see Vicky needing to burn, we can see Cousin needing to burn because they're getting the bar for the body dependency. Now the body dependency, no, not the body dependency on the left side, just a bit of cleanup for Cousin that he needs to do. And Mark, can I help you? Okay, Mark can't be helped any longer. And Zabeb topping out at 217, which means Pascal can secure the first game. It is 1-0 for Pascal as well as 1-0 for Cousin, but Cousin just topped out. I was doing the hard here for Pascal, so Vicky needs to chase down just a few thousand points. Top out for Vicky, which means Vicky also gets a point. So it is 1-1 between Cousin and Pascal. I guess we can do a simul start then, which means we start both matches at the same time. So, looks like Zabeb and Pascal are ready. And Vicky and Cousin are ready as well. So let's start the next countdown in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So we are in game number 2 between Zabeb and Pascal, as well as game number 3 between Cousin and Vicky. Let's see if Zabeb and Pascal can once again get to level 19, or basically 19. But Pascal opening a bit tougher board, getting the tag, but still a lot that he will need to clean up that will allow Zabeb to get a big lead in. Assuming, of course, that Pascal does even manage to get out of this situation. Yeah, he's getting a few burns in. He's getting low on the stack. Not perfect bar, but it's acceptable. LJ dependency on the left side. LJP should hopefully fall down soon, or long bars will, of course. So LJ dependency and bar dependency. A bar dependency filled in. LJ dependency on the right side here for Pascal. Doesn't get the green S piece over, which means Pascal is gonna top out at 8k. And we also have a 1-1 between Zabeb and Pascal. So Zabeb topped out as well, 1-1. And it looks like the first matches on stream 2 have already finished. So yeah. And Zabeb asking to clarify how many games you play, as I believe Shuichi just explained you play best of 5, which means you need to win 3 games in order to win the match. And both players are ready, so let's start the countdown. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. 15 once again. We're seeing a lot of 15 here in the early rounds. I believe that as we get higher and higher, like next round we have the top 8, so 4 to 8. We should be able to see some more 18 starts as well, as the players get more and more comfortable playing 18. We'll get a ton of Tetrises in. Between Cousin and Vicky, it's an 80k lead here to Vicky, so Vicky in a nice position here. And Pascal getting 2 Tetrises, 100% Tetris rate compared to the 50% Tetris rate of Zabeb. So if that continues to stay the same until the end, then Pascal would win by a mile. But realistically speaking, as you can see, 80% Tetris rate, but also 29 only on Zabeb. So currently looking quite nice for Pascal, having a 1.5 Tetris lead. And he has 6 Tetris lead, 120k, a 112k lead here to Vicky. Next Tetris into 131. So amazing position here for Vicky. And Zabeb topped out, which means Pascal wins game number 3. And next up will be match point for Pascal. Between Cousin and Vicky, it's now up to a 7.5 Tetris lead for just a few seconds for Vicky. So yeah, Vicky in a nice position at a nice 69 lines. Next Tetris is going to Cousin. But yeah, Cousin at this point needs to hope that something will happen to Vicky. Because if Vicky manages to play like this until the end, if she just continues to survive until 19, she has pretty much won game number 3 here. And the match point in favor of Pascal has just started. And also for the players here, if you want to qualify for the Gameboy tournament, you can just do that. You go to the table where Tony and the crew shot from CTEC last year is sitting and join that. So we have the babe in a bit of a troublesome situation, which is good for Pascal, as we know he's the handsome man. And we have a few more funny messages here in the chat saying, so Pascal loves his mountains too much, so he just built one. And then he even tops out with a smile. Exactly what you need. No, Pascal is an amazing guy. As we said before, handsome man. No, he's shaking his head, he doesn't agree. Okay. Also, welcome to the chat, Tien Rain saying, Puzzle Blitzes are playing off. I believe that's in Netris Champs. Not Netris Champs, Netris.org. The new site where you can do like online Tetris, Edo games and stuff like that. Haven't looked too deeply into it, to be fair. But it looks like quite the interesting page. Vicky on level 16, 374, Cousin at 2-8 position, topping out at 244, which means Vicky gets 2-1. So yeah, Vicky is winning game number 3. It continues to play, as she's in quite a nice position here. 417. Apparently her PB is like 520, so she's a bit off. But maybe she can get at least 420, the meme score. 420? Yeah, 420 Vicky. Now it's okay to top out. And that's exactly what she did. So yeah, 2-1 for Vicky. Next up, it's gonna be match point for Vicky. The baby is in a quite high position, but he's getting a few burns. And next, if he wants a bar for skill 9, he does get the bar. Triple for Zebe. And Pascal is in a 6.5 Tetris lead here. Desla's on the baby side, which means Pascal manages to win game number 4. And we have 3-1 for Pascal. GG's Pascal for winning and continuing to stay in the losers round. Next up, he's going to play in losers round number 2. And Zabib is now out of the tournament. The first person that we've seen to get out. Yeah, we won the match point for Vicky as well. So let's transition over to that, so that we can get a nice big look here at these amazing players. On the left, Cousin, and on the right, Vicky. Ma, can you wave? You're on TV, you're famous now. Yeah, we have a few people in the background. And Gunther just returned. Maybe he got some stuff. Looks like he got some stuff here.
Yeah, on so nice.
In this game it is 64 for Cousin against 50 for Vicky, which means we have a nice lead here for Cousin. About a Tetris that is now down to a tiny lead for Vicky. So yeah, it's neck and neck between Cousin and Vicky. Exactly what we love to see, as that means both players will need to play to the best of their potentials. None of them can relax. They will now to the second, third, and as Dami is saying, it is neck and neck between these two players exactly. Now that it is in favor of Vicky of about 3/4 of the Tetris. And now it's over Tetris lead here in favor of Vicky, which means Vicky now is an actual lead and it's no longer a neck and neck lead. Nearly a 2 Tetris lead now for Vicky here, as both players are trying to set up for the next Tetris here. For Vicky that means leaning a bit. For Kozai that just means now getting the bar into Tetris. And one more here. Yeah, so about 1.5 Tetris lead here does continue to be the same. And we have Summer saying, go go Kozai and Vicky. So someone cheering for both of these players, meaning they just want to see them play the best that they can. So hopefully we can see a win for Kozai in this game and then a decider. Also good point here by Summer. Who's got the best neck game? Kozai's neck isn't basically not visible, which means Vicky kinda wins by default. And here also if you take a look at the match arena, we are currently at $170, so huge thanks to all of you who supported the match arena. And I will need to find the match arena here. As there should have been a few more contributions that I sadly missed. So let me take a look at the match arena while we are still on level 15 and both players having clean stack with about a Tetris detail currently to Kozai. So we've had a $32 contribution by Summer saying good luck and fun to all players. Huge thanks to Summer for the $32 contribution. Thanks for supporting the tournament, and I hope that you have an amazing time watching the early rounds here at CTWC France. And we also had Dami saying good luck everybody. Oh, and Shuichi, apparently you win the neck game. You have the best neck. Yes, that's what the chat agreed on. So yeah, I had him come over for that. And Vicky topped out here, which means it's a 2-2-2. And we are thanks to more losses here. So it's 2-2-2 between Kozai and Vicky. So next up, it is match point between Kozai and Vicky. Whoever wins the next game will win the match and continue to be in the lower bracket here at CTWC Paris 2025. So players, are you ready? I hear yeses. So let's start their decider in 3, 2, 1, Tetris! So this is the last time we're gonna see one of these two players play a game on stream here this weekend, or at least a match. Maybe they're gonna play some other stuff in between where we just stream, not sure, but the last time they will play a match here at the CTWC 2025 Paris Regional. And we can see Kozai starting with an early lead here. Got a second Tetris in, while Vicky only got one. Vicky avoiding the long body dependency in column 5, but instead now having one in column 1. Putting the DPs to the right instead of going for one extra long body dependency. Long dependency in column 1. Early shift of that O piece. I feel like a misprint of that green S piece here, so a bit of burning that Vicky will have to do there. And Cousin actually fell behind by about a Tetris now, 0.8 of a Tetris. That Vicky is in the lead. Cousin is set up for the next Tetris, just waiting for the bar here. Vicky is still in the cleanup process. And the bar doesn't fall down. We see the route counter at the bottom. 16, 17 pieces the route here currently for Cousin. Getting the final bar, finally getting the bar Tetris to Cousin. Vicky is now clean, able to go for the center duel, and is neck and neck. 65 against 66. Now we have the next Tetris to Cousin. Cousin a bit under Tetris ahead. Vicky had to go for 2 small holes in the stack here, so a bit of cleanup that she will have to do now. Next Tetris going to Cousin, 104 for Cousin against 69 for Vicky. And you have Fury on the chat saying, Paris is truly the city of eternal Tetris. Have a good day everyone there and in chat. Thanks and hope that you have an amazing time yourself. Yeah, the lead is now up to nearly a 3 Tetris lead here in favor of Cousin. So Cousin in a nice position here, 127 against 74. Cousin also set up for the next bar and gets the Tetris into 148. 148 here for Cousin against Vicky, who's still cleaning this up. Vicky has had a long digging situation here in this game, which has put her into an 3.5 Tetris deficit. Oh, and you can see me on stream. Hello, I'm the blue guy waving at the camera. You can see now Cousin also burning a few lines as we're in the second half of level 18 here in game number 5, the decider between these 2 players. And yeah, Pampaku Cousin is totally locked in. He's focusing on the game and it feels like he doesn't even see anything else. And that's exactly what you need in a stressful situation like this. Yeah, Cousin is in quite a tough position. Doesn't get the bar over to the left. He can still get something over, but he needs to build up the right side as well. Next bar, he's not trying to get it over. He could have quick tapped it. Hangs the next piece, hangs something on top, and is chopping out here at 163. So Vicky's score is 164, 164. That is quite doable to get here. You could even line it out if you are comfortable playing on level 19. If she isn't, then of course you can also just go for a bit of Tetrises on level 15 and 18 speeds. There's only 2.5 Tetrises left to go, which if singled out is about 50 lines, so barely above what you get without a Tetris. But it also means that Vicky only needs 1 Tetris to be in a position where she can get the game and match win before level 19. So let's see if Vicky can do it. Only 7 lines left to go here on level 15 speeds. Avoided the setup for Tetris here. Maybe she didn't see the next box here for the 2 long bars. But there's exactly 40k. And here's the Tetris to Vicky. Less than the Tetris left to go, so only about 20 lines, which is just before the transition. Lined out, so Vicky now has 0 pressure on her shoulders. Just line it out. That's all you need to do. Going for clean burns. It's getting a bit high on the stack. Nice double now. Yeah, just slowly but surely cleaning, or like burning the 9s here. It's now level 17, the toughest to play color screen if you don't get into glitch colors. She's not taking anything under that blue S piece. It's getting quite high in the stack now. It's getting a single. Nice. Half a Tetris left to go that she needs to catch up. She lost this here and tops out, which means Reserve wins game number 5. And we have a 3-2 for Cousin here. Well played. And that means one more French guy stays in. And also thanks to Cos Indie for the rate of 9 people. And yeah, Vicky for her first performance in an NTSC in-person tournament performed quite well here. Huge GG's there. Oh, and we can really take a look at the bracket in a few seconds here. Not sure if there's anything that needs to be done, but it looks like we can just go over. So, as we can see, the first 2 upper and first lower round have now finished, which means there's only 2 more rounds to play here on Saturday. The round 4, third upper round, and round 5 or second lower round. So the tournament is now joined by Kanto, Shuichi, Gunther and Obelex. So we're getting into the area where people do max out at least semi-regularly. So let's see what they can do. But we will have another short break here of about 10 minutes. So see you in just a few minutes at 1:30 p.m. local time or 11:30 UTC. Okay, so test, perfect. We are live, back again here from the CTWC Paris 2025 edition. We are now in the next round where the top 8 to 5 to join the bracket, and as you can see over here in stream number 1 we will have Kanto versus Richard, Shuichi versus Sivell, Gunther versus Tony, and Obelix versus Tolstoy will be on stream number 2. So joining over here on stream number 1 are Kanto and Shuichi. Shuichi being the highest, 5, and Kanto the lowest, 8 who joined. So Kanto versus Richard should be pretty close, while Shuichi versus Sivell might be a bit one-sided in favor of Shuichi. But let's do the most important part, being slide capture stuff. Okay, should be good now. And we also apparently need to refresh the cameras. Yeah, okay, something like that. I can figure it out. I'm a pro when it comes to using OBS apparently. So, how does this look now? Richard isn't here, okay. Which means we can do the transition over as Richard is coming back. And yes, as I said, in the top we have Richard versus Kanto, in the bottom we have Shuichi versus Sivell. So yeah, if you ask me, we are ready to go. It looks like the players are also ready to go, if I see it correctly. So yeah, as far as I know, it's now gonna be 18 only, but I'm not fully sure about the rule set. Let me double check that. Badooms. The first 3 rounds of the first 2 rounds of winners. So for the players, from now on 18 only. 18 only. That's the official rule set. So you need to be able to play 18 now. Meaning, players, are you ready? So let's start game number 1 here on stream 1 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And all players have started. I haven't seen Sivell play too much 18 today, but I believe it shouldn't be an issue here for him. Let's find that out together. He's able to get the first Tetris in. At the bottom, at the upper match between Richard and Kanto, it is neck and neck, both players getting 2 Tetrises so far. In the bottom, it's about a 2 Tetris lead now in favor of Shuichi. Now that Shuichi is 68 versus 28 here on Sivell's side. A bit of cleanup here for Sivell, getting back into a Tetris position. As you have the next Tetris at the upper match, so now we have a tiny lead in favor of Kanto. Next Tetris here for Richard. Richard now at 114 against 114 for Kanto. Kanto having played a single more, which is the difference in points. So far, yeah, Richard is still at 100% Tetris rate, but now needs to close the well. Doesn't get the brass piece to where it needs to go. And that's a crucial death dot here on Richard's side, which means Kanto does win game number 1 here. It is already a 1-0 for Kanto. The bottom match between Sivell and Shuichi is still going here this game. Sivell does get the next bar into a Tetris. Left side now has a bar dependency. He's getting the bar perfect. Point-wise, it's an 80k lead for Shuichi. It is 205 against 105 now, so 4.5 Tetris lead to Shuichi. Shuichi is into a clean stack. 100% Tetris rate so far, by the way. Shuichi is also known as the pace player, and this is exactly why. Getting the T-spin as well. Nice land here by Shuichi. And now it looks like the bar isn't coming for a while, but now here's the next Tetris to Shuichi. Oh, and yeah, Richard versus Kanto are ready to start the game. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Looks like they were laughing, but it's actually not ready. So they're gonna be a restart. Oh, and Shuichi also had a burn line here, so no longer perfect in terms of Tetris rate for Shuichi. And Kanto has just started, so is Richard. And the bar doesn't go over on Sivel's side, which means top out for Sivel at 138. And we have a 1-0 for Shuichi as well, so it's currently 1-0 for Kanto and 1-0 for Shuichi, meaning the new players have both been able to win their first game here.
Sorry. I have not. And then coming on randomly.
So they're now updating the seat here in the lower match so that we can start in just a few seconds. It's gonna be once again a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. And in the chat, Nick's saying go Sivel. So Sivel has someone cheering for him, which is more than Shuichi has currently. So in that regards, Sivel is actually winning. Richard being kinda high. Does get a dirty Tetris. Nice for Richard. While Kanto's Nesbitt champ says, oh snap, something went wrong while displaying this web page. Which means F5. And now should be, yes, we can see Kanto's gameplay once again here. It's a slight lead of a bit over Tetris here for Kanto. Getting the next Tetris in as Richard is in quite the dirty position here. That's gonna need to burn a lot of lines in order to get into Tetris position once again here. And I feel like I hear someone roll on stream number 2 most likely. Tony? Okay, so Tony's rolling now. Tony joined on stream number 2 and he is the first roller to join. We will have a couple of rollers join later in the top 4, so tomorrow. Namely Mark, Bergtroll and Dan V. It's quite high here for Kanto and a bit of a dirty situation, which means Richard has the chance here to catch up, and he is only now half a Tetris difference here. Kanto is still in the cleanup. Sivel got a few misdrops in, which means Shuichi is already in a 2-0 position here. So next up, it's gonna be match point for Shuichi. And Shuichi may sweep Sivel here, let's see. In the upper match, the lead is now in favor of Richard with about 5k. So it's neck and neck there so far. But Kanto does get the dirty Tetris. For a second it looked like the bar would be hanging, but it went over luckily. Okay, so Sivel looks somewhat ready, Shuichi looks somewhat ready, and they are, so let's start. Yeah, the next game here, it's gonna be a standard 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Okay. So upper match now at 80 lines both players, so we might be able to see everything until 19. And mixing, you can come back Sivel. So maybe Sivel will show us a nice reverse appeal against Shuichi. But he's already about 2 Tetrises behind. We have a slight misstep on Kanto's side. So Richard was able to get about a Tetris of lead now. Okay, so Richard is open on the left side once again. The setup for the Tetris gets the bar and Tetris to Richard. 48k, so 2 Tetris and some change lead here to Richard. Kanto and Sivel both on a bit of cleanup situation here, which means the opponents, so Richard and Shuichi, can build up leads here. Richard at a 3 Tetris lead and Shuichi at a 2.5 Tetris lead here. Kanto's water is getting out of control. He needs something for the left side. He doesn't have anything. He's topping out at the same time as Sivell, which means Shuichi was able to sweep Sivell here. And Richard can secure the 1-1. It is now 1-1 between Richard and Kanto, which means we can fully focus on the match here. So let's do the quick transition over. And yeah, 3.5 title seat currently for Richard again. If you want, you can tap out. I'm not gonna force you to, it's just that you've already won this game. Oh, and I just heard him as in Richard say, it's over already. So it looks like he wasn't quite prepared for this to end as quickly as it did. He expected it to go a bit longer. But you can see him also eat a bit of lunch, so as always, feel free to eat and drink a bit. But it's always important to stay properly nutritioned here at Tetris events. Okay, that means we can start the next game here. Okay, and that did. But yeah, Richard and Kanto are seed 8 and seed 9. So we expect the match to be pretty close here. And let's hope that the next games will be like this as well. Taking a look at streams number 2 scores, looks like it's pretty close there between the players. Over here we now have about a 2 titles lead for Kanto, 91 for Kanto against 74 for Richard. But of course, just because Sivell lost the last match doesn't mean that he's out of the tournament. We have a double elimination, which means there's a second chance for Sivell to get further in the tournament. Yeah, the bout titles lead for Kanto stays the same, but Richard's board is getting a bit of control. He doesn't get the bar over, which means we have a 2-1 for Kanto. So next up, it's gonna be match point for Kanto. So if Richard wants to stay in, he needs to win the next 2 games, whereas Kanto only needs to win 1 more game. He as in Richard was away for a few seconds here, has just come back, so we should be able to start the match point for Kanto soon, but Kanto's on the phone. He's hopefully not watching TikTok instead of playing Tetris. Okay, no, he puts it away, perfect. And it looks like we can start the next game here. Yeah, it's now starting. So Richard and Kanto potentially the last game, depending on how this match goes. Kanto's in a bit of early trouble here. As we can see, the stack is Yeah, nobody points to the left and the right. He's getting the first bar, setting up for a few burns, and is taking the triple instead of trying to play aggressive for a dirty left rail Tetris. As a desk player, that's generally the better decision to do. You can see Richard now also getting his next Tetris here. 1.5 Tetris lead to Richard versus a 16,000 score of Kanto. So yeah, 1.5 Tetris lead. Kanto is also yet to get his own first Tetris, so this has been quite a suffer start. Looks like Kanto is now playing. He's not playing one high. He got the next Tetris instead.
Now we should be able to manage this, but it's gonna be slowed down by the space.
Okay, so Kanto is in a clean position. Richard might go for, no, he's not going for column 9. He instead tries to go one high, I guess. Yeah, so Richard is now playing one high. Kanto might, no, Kanto has the small hole in his column 2. Kanto getting a bit high in this stack here, where Richard has a 2.5 Tetris lead. Kanto needs to burn quite a lot of lines here. It's not the easiest. He has like, yeah, he needed a few good pieces. He got the good pieces. Got the bar for the burn. And we have about a 2 Tetris lead here for Richard. Kanto is still cleaning this up, so Richard might be able to increase the lead even further if he gets the bar on time, and he does. Next Tetris to Richard. Richard now transferred the world to the standard right side, column 10. And is ready for the next Tetris to Richard. 189 against 116. So yeah, this has been quite a suffer game here for Kanto so far. But Kanto is looking to get back into the standard position here, to go for as many Tetrises as possible and hopefully catch up to Richard. Kanto quite high. He does get the next bar over for a bit of burning. Richard also, he doesn't get the blue S piece over to the left, so Richard is topping out 195. Kanto needs 196, 196, but Kanto also having a dirty board here. And this is a top out for Kanto, which means it is 2-2 between Richard and Kanto. And if Richard manages to win the next game, then Richard will have shown us the first upset of this event. And yeah, Richard once again needing a bit of tech assistance, well, providing a bit of tech assistance is better phrased. So he's doing something on the beamer and is getting a bit of water to drink. You know, as I always say, drink water, stay hydrated, keep your voice smooth. And it looks like both players are gonna be ready here in a few seconds. And that means, can we start the decider? Yeah, we can start the decider. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And the decider has now started. And that means whoever wins this match will continue to stay in the upper bracket here at the CTWC France 2025 edition. Yeah, so both players opening with 2 Tetrises and 2 burns. Kanto now has 2 highs, so it's going to be a bit tougher for him to go for Tetris, but it's still of course possible. And I have no idea what just happened in stream number 2, but apparently stream number 2 is crazy, so if you can, then get a bit of the timer watch and watch both of the streams here, stream 1 and stream 2, as we're live on Classic Tetris 2 as well. We have 76 for Richard, 123 here for Kanto. Richard being quite high, which means he's gonna have to burn a few lines here. Didn't go for the flat bar burn. And next Tetris to Kanto. Kanto 152, next Tetris to Richard, Richard 109. So you have a bit under a 2 Tetris lead here for Kanto.
There's only a few lines away from taking the game to change yourself around the game. One more line to finish for the next. These people were so yeah. So you need drop down to user bracket and you need to
Yeah, 120, 186. Okay, and apparently it's next up match point for Gunther on stream 2. And I believe Odex won against Tolstoy. So there's also only one match and potentially one game left on stream 2. Over here we have 166 for Richard against 194 for Kanto, which means Kanto is about a Tetris and some change ahead, as you can see. Richard is set up, waiting for the next bar. Both stacks are pretty similar. We are also close in the piece sequence, not quite the same pieces, but close. Next Tetris to Kanto, we should see this bar a bit too late for Richard, so Richard is still high, ready for the next Tetris. So is Kanto. Next Tetris goes to Richard. Richard having a J piece, now long dependency in column 3. And okay, no, he's not trying to get for dirty, go for dirty Tetris. He's cleaning up, going for the triple here into 204 for Richard against 251 here for Kanto. As we are getting close to the last 59s of level 18. And next side is to Richard, so it's now neck and neck. Kanto a bit close, next side is to Richard. Richard ahead of Kanto now. Kanto is one away from being open. Kanto open again. Half a Tetris lead to Richard, next Tetris to Kanto. Half a Tetris lead here to Kanto. It is neck and neck between Richard and Kanto. So exactly what we want here. Richard now going for a center world Tetris, waiting for the next bar. Let's see if the bar will arrive on time. Or if Kanto can just win here. Okay. Is it internet on this side? Okay, no, this side is working fine. Why the heck is my PC crashing again? Can you reboot the PC? Like the upper, smaller button? No, it's not suspending, it's just fully crashing.
It's okay, actually.
But we at least have a bit of filming and I can do some live casting of the game fields here. And we have 357 for Kanto against 335 here for Richard. So we have about a Tetris, about 2 Tetris lead here in favor of Kanto, as we are about 15 lines, so around about 4 Tetrises away from the transition into level 19. Neck and neck here between these two players. 40k lead. So a bit under 2 Tetrises, about 2 Tetrises lead here to Kanto. Kanto getting the next Tetris in. Richard is currently cleaning the situation up. And we have about 8 lines, so 2 Tetrises, which hopefully, or should be, enough for me to get Nestus Gems back to work. And apparently Kanto tops out at 408. So the goal for Richard is 409. He's gonna transition in a line. So let's get you in first, player one. And yes, you have gameplay of Richard, perfect. And we should also get gameplay from Panto if he was still playing. He had 408, so the goal for Richard is 409, which is less than Tetris for Richard. Left to go to do this upset here, 408, 880, so he needs 881. So this is doable just by surviving and getting good burns in. There's no pressure for Richard to go for Tetrises. Oh, but he's getting a bit out of control here board-wise now. Getting the next single in, next overshift, 400. And I believe that is for Richard. Richard jumps out. And this means it is 3-2 for Kanto. Kanto manages to win this game, which means Kanto stays in the upper bracket and Richard moves to the lower bracket. Yeah, I believe we had that happen with Wiki before, so it's a bit unfortunate what is happening here currently. But it is what it is. There's not much that we can do other than they say congratulations to Kanto for winning. And let me take a quick look over at stream 2. Gunther is ahead and they have just transitioned over there into level 19. So we have troublesome position. We have Des versus Roll.
Ja, kann ich ja mal den Chase down.
Let's take a look at the chat here. Here we have some oofs in the chat, some no's. Some Kanto strong neck game. Here we're also saying another close chase down. Yeah, this was a close and kind of classic chase down, you know. Getting close to winning, just being a few thousand points off, making one mistake and topping out. That's how it feels like 60% of chase downs go, and this has been one of those again. And we can also take a look at the bracket in just a few seconds, I believe, where the current bracket standings. So the current bracket standings, let's take a look at them here. So as you can see, the last round of NES, specifically NES, because at 16 local time or 14 UTC, we will do the Gameboy tournament. The next round is going to be round 5. The second lower round where we have Richard versus Cousin, Sivelle versus Pascal. The loser of Gunther versus Tony against Dr. L. And Tolstoy versus Speedcell. So for example, Sivelle versus Pascal should be pretty close. And it looks like Tony barely won here against Gunther. So there's gonna be one final game, one decider on stream number 2. Test test. So welcome back to CTWC Paris 2025. We have the final round of the NES tournament coming up, which is the lower round 2, also known as round number 5. Yeah, let's just take a look at the players here. You already saw the bracket a bit, so I don't need to be like, oh yeah, here's that, there's this. Over here we have Cousin versus Richard, as well as Pascal versus Svel. You've also seen them. What?
You can update the round number.
I didn't even know that it's there. I can try. I have no idea where it is, but I can try to. Okay, so apparently we have a round down at the bottom right that I have totally ignored until now. So let me try to find out where that is, because I have no idea how this works. So we have the nested scenes. No? Maybe? But where would that be? I have no idea where that is.
Yeah.
So it is somewhere, and I can upload it somewhere, but I genuinely don't know where this somewhere happens to be. So, I mean, the players are ready, I guess. So let's just start the game.
Okay.
What? You mean the round?
No, I mean when Pascal is working or not?
Pascal, can you just start a normal game?
Go back at Tetris and
Yeah, okay, so we are making sure that...
Okay.
Oh, it's working properly, perfect.
So let's see at the end.
So yeah, sometimes if you do like these refresh of games, weird stuff happens. So if you don't start in normal Tetris mode, sometimes weird stuff happens. That's just Nestless gems. But that means we can start round number 5 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Yeah, 15 and the lower bracket is allowed. Yeah. And
Where the last
Around where all these things are.
Wait, Gunther, are you sure? Because the...
Don't worry about that.
It says the first 2 rounds of winners are 15 and 18, so the third round is 18 only.
Losers as well. The second round of losers.
Yeah, the losers are fine, but it was like the round before that winners. That was 18 only.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes.
No, that's
Okay, perfect. So we are all good there. You know, just better check something and be like, oh yeah, we did it correct, then be like, oops, we did not do it correctly. Is that yes, cousin? Samuel right here. I have no idea. Oh, SV is asking the chat, is that yeah? Apostrophe S? Cousin. I have no idea what that means. I don't understand what he means. It's probably something smart that I just don't understand. Like context-wise, you know. It is what it is. And that means... Oh yeah, a few Tetrises. We have 65 for Cousin, we have 50 for Richard, we have 48 for Pascal and 101 here for Sivell. So Sivell currently the best performing player here of this round, lower round 2. Yes, in the upper round we have a pretty neck and neck game. In the lower round we have about 1.5 Tetrises lead here to Sivell. So Sivell is in a nice position here, whereas Richard also is getting a nice position actually, having a 1.5 Tetris lead of himself. So the right side, Richard and Sivell do have the upper hand here so far in game number 1, but we're also not even halfway through level 15, so there's still a lot to go. As in half of 15 and all of the 18 speeds and potentially even a bit of level 19 speed. Because 19, as we know, is the fastest speed that you can safely play using gas. Faster speeds do normally get out of hand rather quickly. Yeah, 150, 180, so still the 1.5 Tetris lead for Richard. Zero is able to increase his lead by quite a lot though. He's now over 100,000 points, so 5.5 Tetris lead here to Sivell. Quite nice position here for Sivell. Oh, and Pascal's getting quite high. He gets the next bar over Tetris to Pascal into 157, 157 to Pascal. And we also see Sivell do a bit of push down here. Push down, of course, has the advantage of pieces falling faster and giving you more points. Per line that a piece falls, it gives you 1 point. But it's also normally not really worth it in terms of how much it does cost you in control. But in 50, it's oftentimes pretty acceptable. But yeah, so you can see a 4.5 Tetris lead in points, which in pace is only like a 2.5 Tetris lead here for Sivell. So the situation is better for Pascal than it might look at first glance. Sivell gets the 2E spin, which means there's going to be a bit of burning to do. That, yeah, no, it's not really that good of a position here for Pascal to try to catch up. Right, we have the next Tetris going to Sivell. 261 for Cousin, 308 for Richard. So Richard has a 2 Tetris, now 3 Tetris and some change lead against Cousin. While Pascal having 225 against 350 for Sivell. So yes, as I said, Sivell having a massive lead here. But also played a noticeable amount of lines more. And Grandmaster Ubero saying, Pascal looks like a sweep shirt. Oh, in German that's a bit of a joke. What he has, it says Rechenzentrum, and Rechen can be like calculating, or the, oh, Sie Welt coming out? Or like the things that you see on his, so it's like, haha, it's a like data center. Something like that joke meme. Sie Welt coming out at 373, Pascal coming out at 223 after not getting the LPs to the left, which means we have an early 1-0 for Sivel. By the way, Sivel, I do not. Okay, so after getting Sivel over here to help out with the tech real quick, he is now back. And yeah, so he was able to win game number 1. Cousin and Richard are both still playing, and we're close to the level 19 transition on top. It is just 5 lines left for Cousin and 8 lines left for Richard. Richard has about 100k, so 4 Tetris lead, which means Cousin does need some 19 gameplay. He is not transitioning to 19. Let's see how much Cousin will be able to do here. And Cousin is topping out at 388, which means we also have a 1-0 here for Richard. I will do a timer start because it should just take a few seconds here for Cousin and Richard to get ready. Because then we can start game number 2 at the same time for both matches here. So it looks like everyone is ready. Let's start the next game here in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Yeah, so operators over here have started. I'm also going to take a quick look over at Stream 2. And it looks like they're also about to start the second games here. Which means we are pretty much at the same point. Perfect. Over here we already have a bit of struggles on Sivel's spot, but we got the next piece over for some burns. And we have the next Tetris to Cousin. 24 for Cousin, the first one. Richard open in a clean board though, compared to Cousin, who's not in the cleanest state. So Richard is waiting for the next bar, which looks like it's going to take a few seconds longer than he wants to for it to fall down. Yeah, we now have the drought counter here on Richard's side. 17, 18. And here's the bar that he sadly couldn't use, and the next bar that he also couldn't use. And we have the next Tetris to Cousin, and finally also the first Tetris to Richard. Richard about 1.5 Tetrises behind Cousin currently. Pascal is at 50, now 69. Nice versus 37 for Sivel. So 1.5 Tetrises lead, 2.5 Tetrises now for Pascal. So it looks like in this game the players who lost the first games are now performing well, so we might be able to get a 1-1 for both of these matchups. Yeah, so I said earlier that this is the last round of Gameboy. That doesn't mean that afterwards we have nothing more left to come, because starting at 16 local time, so in about 1.5 hours, we have the Gameboy tournament, where I can already see a few players still qualifying, you could say. The qualification is open until 15 local time or 1 UTC. Yeah, that's what's gonna come next. Oh, and I just missed the top out on Cousin's side while talking about the Gameboy tournament, which means Richard is in a chase down. Richard needs 94 to be safe, or you know, in theory 93, 121, but to aim for 94 is just much better. In the lower match, we can see about a 2 Tetris lead now here for Sivell. So Sivell is a bit ahead, and he's looking not that he's being ahead. Like, I don't know how else the head movement needs to be interpreted. Okay, Pascal could have tried to go for the left rail here, and I would have preferred that. On level 15, the pieces don't fall that fast, so it's still quite possible. And Lucy of Frantic Thumb asking, anyone got the bracket link? At least I sadly don't have the bracket link. It's somewhere on the PC, but of Sivell, but I'm not touching like the Discord and stuff like that out of respect for his privacy, you know. But it's already sent to Ringfire as far as I know, so it should be updated in a few seconds. We will see. More importantly, let's focus on the game here. We have 190 for Sivell, 156 for Pascal, and Richard is about a single way, and with this Tetris, Richard does take game number 2, and we have a 2-0 situation here between Richard and Cousin. Whereas Pascal and Sivell here in game number 2 is quite close. Both players alone this deck have to burn a few lines, and we have less than a 2 Tetris lead here for Sivell. Yeah. Yeah, just but we can also do the counter here on stream, so let's do a 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Okay, so in the bottom match we can see Sivell transitioning into 16, immediately struggling on the speed increase, and he's stopping out after a few missteps on 210, which means Pascal has a goal to chase down to. It is 211. 211 is the goal here for Pascal. His spot is not in the best state, but he should be low enough to get the burns required to get lower in the stack, depending on how long the bar takes. Perfect bar timing here for Pascal. And with that we can see him open in road, or column 2 for Tetris, waiting for the next bar here. Maybe waiting a bit too long. Okay, here's the bar, and with that Pascal tops out. And we have a 2-0 for Sivell as well. So Sivell winning 2 games in a row, Richard winning 2 games in a row. Match point between Cousin and Richard was started not too long ago. And next is also going to be the match point between Pascal and Sivell. But currently the standings between Cousin and Richard are 51 for Cousin against 70 for Richard. Next set is to Cousin. So it is neck and neck here between these 2 players. Yeah, in the above match, it's a tiny lead here for Richard in terms of pace. But in terms of points, yeah, it's neck and neck. It's 11 points difference. Next Tetris to Richard. So Richard just under Tetris ahead here of Cousin due to push on. But Richard has a bit tougher board now, as Cousin is at least open for the Tetris if the bar does fall down. Has a small hole here at the top, but we have the drought counter ticking, 17, 18. And Richard has a bit easier board to play around, I'd say. But Richard doesn't want to take any burns, which means he can't use this bar for Tetris. Neither can Cousin. Both players are ready for the next. Well, only Richard is ready for the next Tetris. Now Cousin is also ready for the next Tetris. And we have 119 for Cousin against 136 for Richard at basically the same line. So this is a 2 lead to Richard. Next Tetris to Cousin into 138 against 155 for Richard. So 2 good games above. In the bottom match between Pascal and Sivelle, we currently have 27 for Pascal against 15 for Sivelle. So Sivelle has yet to get his own first Tetris, while Pascal just got his second Tetris here in this game. Sivelle is quite high, he needs something to burn, the bar is gonna be a bit high. Let's see if we can get a piece over that. Ooh, that grass piece as well, but he got the bar over, perfect, so he's getting lower on the stack now. Pascal is currently 1.5 Tetris set here of Sivelle, left. Okay, nice, Sivelle got the piece over. And it looks like Sivelle should be on much more survivable height soon, I'd love to say. But no, he's not getting the pieces required. Left side bar, okay. Lost dash too much. Topping out at 23, which means Pascal is able to win his own first game. And we have still 2-1 for Sivelle. But maybe Pascal has just started the reverse sweep. In the bottom and the upper match we have 72 lines, 74 lines, and about a 3 Tetris lead here for Richard. Well, 3 Tetris and some change. Here, 3.5 Tetris lead to Richard. So nice position here for Richard, potentially sweeping against Cousin here. Yeah, Cousin has been able to catch up a bit here against Richard. It's now down to a bit under a Tetris lead here in favor of Richard. In the bottom match, I can see both players just started and got a single. Also, is the audio still working? Looks like the audio music has stopped. And I have no idea where that comes from, so I also can't change that. Maybe I do. No, I said you don't. So I can't help with the music here. We have level 16 now for Cousin 293 versus 358 for Richard. Cousin level 16, so Cousin is in a bit of a troublesome position when it comes to the points difference. Pascal just took out a 12k, which means Sivelle wins this game and got 3-1. So GG's to Sivelle for winning and continuing to play here in the losers bracket, lower bracket, and we will see Sivelle play again tomorrow while Pascal is now out of the tournament. But of course Pascal was mainly here to play Gameboy, which will come up after NES is over at about 16 UTC. 16 local time, not UTC. It is 14 UTC. And here it is 345, 458, close to level 19. Next Tetris to Cousin. Cousin is just one line away from the transition here. And it looks like he's gonna transition now at 370 against 484 here for Richard. So Richard having a pretty big lead here into 19. Cousin's board is getting into a bit of a dirty position here. It's taking a few burns, doesn't get the OPs over to the right side. Longer went over, but longer to the left didn't work out, so Cousin has now won this game and manages. Cousin has not lost this game, and Richard manages to sweep against Cousin. 566. So let's see how far Richard can go. So we're here in the last game of the NES stream before about an hour and 20-minute break, it looks like hour and 15 minutes. For the NES, he is of course allowed to finish this game, but he just has finished the game. Yes, so that has been the first half of the NES tournament over here on stream number 1. And it looks like stream 2 also might be over now, as I don't know who, but someone topped out. Let me go over and double check what the situation is there. And it looks like it's a 3-1 for Tony. So this time both teams finished the matches at basically the same time. And with that we can take a look at the bracket, the final parts of the bracket here. And you can see the performance of today, who is out of the tournament. So the players who lost in the lower round being Vicky, Zabe, Merlin, Zudu, Cousin, Pascal, Dr. L, and Speed Self are now out of the tournament. And everyone else does make it into tomorrow, the Sunday stream. So let's take a look at what will come up tomorrow. This is what we will see tomorrow, starting at round 6 or upper 4. You will see seed number 1 joining Dan V against Kanto. Seed number 4 joining Now versus Shuichi. Seed number 2 joining Mark versus Gunther, as well as Bertol joining against Obelix. And looking at this is kind of funny. It's like 50% French people and 50% people from the German-speaking countries. It's like 4 Germans and, well, okay, it's like 6 French people, but still, this is not what I expected in Paris to see. But it is what it is, and it just shows that we are a global event, especially as Richard, for example, is this, and we have 2 different continents being present still. And in total it was 3, with North America being Dr. L, South America being Richard, and then here Europe being us French, German, Swiss, UK people. Well, UK is gonna join tomorrow with Danvi. So from my side it is thanks a ton for watching the NES part. We're gonna have about an hour and 50 minutes of break until 4 p.m. CEST, 16 local time. So see you in about an hour and some change.
And hello everyone. So as you can see, at 4 p.m. CEST, we will have the Gameboy tourney coming in it. So we'll take a long break, almost more than an hour. We'll cut the stream, but see you at 4 p.m. then.